10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. We're back for more D2L Western Challenge action, the last match here in Week 2, before we get down to the nitty-gritty over the next 7 days. We've got an EG doubleheader, the front end of which might be the most anticipated match throughout the entire group stage by many, including myself and Trouf. EG facing off against Na'Vi, the two teams sitting atop our standings and looking to be best positioned to make a run for that 1 and 2 seed. Let's take a look at the lineup, see how they stack up, and also take a look at how they performed so far. Beginning with EG, you can see right now they're sitting at undefeated, a 4-0 record out of 7. So after today, they're only going to have one more best of 3 to play out. And again, entering play without a single loss, not one blemish on their record, and in great position if they could just finish strong to walk away with one of the top 2 seeds, which means they'll get a bye through the playoffs. They're led by PPD on the hard support, who's really been flexing his muscle so far as drafting and has been really successful in that regard for quite some time now. Then, of course, you've got Universe out in the off lane, as experienced a veteran as you're ever going to meet. The star-studded lineup, of course, punctuated with Arteezy, a fan favorite, and people really jumping on board the Arteezy train just because of his unique approach to mid and the way that EG tends to build around him as the #1 hard farming carry, even though he does generally come out of that mid position. Then you've got Zion support, and of course Fear on the carry. He will not be a part of play here today. He was anticipated to return this week to professional play, but looks like old man Fear still with that busted wing might need a little bit longer to get his recovery fully underway. On the other side of the river, we of course have Na'Vi, and this is a team that scarcely needs introduced, but when you look at their record, they've already taken a loss. So sitting at 2-1, they still have 4 more series left before their run in the D2L Western Challenge is done, at least from the group stage. So they're still sitting in second. They're in great position. A win against EG here would certainly give them a leg up and put them in great position to charge strong down the stretch. Led by the indomitable Puppy on the hard support, of course, the hard carry host, always a blast to watch. Fan favorite and arguably the most popular Dota player on the planet in Dendi. Sits in mid while the off lane is handled by Phonic and Kuro on the hard support. Your casters for the day will be myself, Aaron AC Chambers, and I'll be joined by Trouf as always here out of our downtown studio in San Francisco. We're just about to get underway, the draft already in progress, so we'll be taking you right into that again in the front end of this Evil Geniuses doubleheader leading off against Na'Vi. Stick with us, we'll be right back.
Reserve time.
And we're live. As I said, the draft just about a little under halfway done as the first pick phase is complete, as is the first ban phase. EG taking out the Ember and the Doom, and on the side of Na'Vi, getting rid of PPD's Tree, which I believe is becoming much more common, and of course Dazzle and Mirana banned out from them too. They did manage to snag Lycan, who doesn't make it in the field all that much anymore. A very high priority ban pretty much every time he's seen. Then of course Ancient Apparition to go with it, another very high value support that has really seen his star rise and is becoming an extremely high percentage pick ban hero. And on the side of EG, there's an August Siren and Darkseer to help break down the draft and lend insight and analysis as he does every day here on the Western Challenge. Welcome in once again, Trouf. And yeah, man, EG has looked so strong in the Western Challenge. It's looked so strong in general, but still playing down a man as Fear still missing and Mason is standing in again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Fear's able to make it back. I know there was talk of maybe him coming back for the next series. I don't want to have that set in stone in case it doesn't happen so people don't get upset. But yeah, obviously they're still performing quite well with Mason instead of Fear, and I don't think it'll harm him too much. I know they've been practicing a bit in scrims with Fear, but unfortunately Fear's not ready for the real games here today for whatever reason. But anyway, Na'Vi, yeah, as you mentioned, they snagged up the Lycan. As we mentioned, it does get banned out frequently, and they smartly banned the Treant Protector, as I think PPD thinks it's a pretty good counter to Lycan for a number of reasons. Obviously, the overgrowth stops him through the ultimate. Right. If you're not able to push very, very quickly, very fast, it starts to become infinitely more difficult with the living armor healing up all your buildings. So they banned that out, but then like the first 2 picks were so quick by both sides. It was Lycan, and then boom, Naga Siren Darkseer right afterwards. So they had a good idea right at the start. It seems to be slowing down a little bit more now, and I'm very curious to see if EG wants to do an aggressive tri-lane with Darkseer. We've seen them do this a number of times whenever a team drafts a not necessarily greedy, but a hero that isn't exactly the best laner and benefits, you know, from early farm, as most heroes do, but Lycan's simply one of those, so.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you see Naga Siren come out for EG, you're almost always going to assume that's going to be a mid-Arteezy Naga Siren. What they could end up doing here, and just looking at what's still available for them, is, you know, well, I don't know. It's so tough. Like, when it comes to Mason, the Weaver's not banned, and Mason does love his Weaver. You could run something very aggressive. Shadow Demon plus any follow-up reliable stun, be it a Leshrac, be it a Lina, be it a Lion, anything like that. If you stick a Lifestealer at the front of that, you can have a nice carry that can fight in the mid-game as well. And nope, they're going to go Timbersaw, so they are going to be throwing a wrinkle into things. And Darkseer and Timber generally both viewed as off-laners. So I think you're on the mark, my friend. I think we're going to see potentially an offensive trial and led with the DS at the front.
This Timbersaw pick changes things, though. I feel like I either saw a scrim or a match recently where Arteezy was playing Darkseer mid, which seems kind of weird because it doesn't seem like an Arteezy hero. Wait, no. Sorry, it was Universe Darkseer, and it was Arteezy playing something. Just it was not like an ordinary Arteezy hero. Because this Timbersaw kind of makes lanes a bit different, unless they want to like solo short a Timbersaw. And you know what? No, it hit me. Mason was playing the Timbersaw, and he dominated with it. So yeah, it's definitely going to change the lanes a little bit. Could be farming Timbersaw in a lane, or could be farming Darkseer in a lane. But either way, it's not going to be traditional in the sense of what teams do. It might be traditional in the sense that EG likes to do these, you know, interesting Darkseer lanes or whatever, what have you. But Tidehunter picked up here for Na'Vi. This is one of my favorite, not just support heroes, but just heroes in general. I just think his Ravage is so useful in team fights. It's such a good hero.
But yeah, I really love this pickup against what you see EG is drafted, just because of the way that this lineup's going to tend to want to build out. You know, what just basically makes a Tidehunter completely fall off is BKB, of course. But when you look at a Darkseer and Shadow Demon, obviously those aren't heroes that tend to rush BKBs. They will get them in the late game if they really want them or need them. But they don't rush them. Same with the Naga Siren generally. You're not going to rush that item out ahead of a Radiance or ahead of what other core build items you want. Same with Timbersaw. He's tanky enough that he can usually avoid having to get a BKB up early on and still feel very survivable despite taking a fair amount of damage here and there. So, yeah, I think it's a great pickup. And whenever you see the Timber and the Darkseer together with the Naga Siren, you know, it's either going to be one of two things. It's going to be a Naga Siren that's going to want to fight earlier on and start to push, and we'll get items to complement that, or usually it's going to be make some space for the Naga Siren with the team fight potential that you get out of a Darkseer and a Timbersaw and whatever else you want to add in here. So either way, it's a nice stopping point for Na'Vi, a nice way to just kind of throw a wrinkle into what EG, at least given what meets the eye, what it would seem they have planned.
Yeah, I think the reason, and then they go Jakiro here. I know PPD's been practicing Jakiro a lot. He really likes it, and I really like the liquid fire. I remember it was a while ago when I saw someone in a pub like maxing liquid fire, and I remember flaming them like, "What are you doing?" And then I realized that it's actually really freaking good. It's a really good spell, and it pushes towers down nicely. But the reason why I like Tidehunter so much is, like the problem with Shadow Demon is if you have any kind of single target stuns, or for instance, I'm thinking of like Rubik's Lift to initiate on someone, and then you try to burst him down that way. It's very easy for Shadow Demon if he's, you know, positioned correctly to save that person. But with an AOE, not only AOE damage, but AOE stun, so everyone is stunned around. That means no one can save, unless he's like, you know, 1500 range away, but in which case he's not in range to help us. So yeah, and then Queen of Pain, so they have a lot of AoE, and I think AoE is the go-to thing here for Na'Vi against a Shadow Demon in particular. So I really like both drafts, actually. I think Navi's is a little bit more safe and a little more quote-unquote standard, whatever that means these days. But yeah, we'll see if Evil Geniuses can throw this curveball here with these interesting picks.
Yeah, I very much agree with you, and I feel like EG has drafted a very interesting lineup. As usual, though, it just looks like Puppy happens to be one step ahead. And I don't know, like, I'll have to wait and see how the lanes are going to pan out. We're actually working right now on a, yep, looks like we're going to be good to go, as those persistent red flashes have returned, and that's why we're staring at the overlay screen right now instead of who's picking who. Now I actually get a chance to look, but yep, we'll be Mason on the Timbersaw, as you called it, my friend. And yeah, so far as the lanes end up going, and Na'Vi with that last pick, Queen of Pain, you know, it's going to be fun to see Dendi back on this hero. I mean, there was a time when Quap was a very standard pick in a variety of lineups, but she's really fallen off and has become situational at best, but it is very much a Dendi hero. And when you look at what they're going to have to work really well with the Ancient Apparition, they've got a lot of tools at their disposal. I mean, if you can land an AA ultimate, catch a couple with Ravage, and then just catch the same two with a Sonic Wave, you're talking an immense amount of damage. It's always going to guarantee a shatter, and whoever's left straggling and scrambling away can be chased down by Havos via his ultimate. It looks like they are going to move into the Radiant Jungle immediately. Universe did manage to get a ward down to keep an eye on the rune and try to keep himself safe, and we'll see how Na'Vi wants to end up doing this. Will be an off-lane tide as Funnick is taking control.
Yep, and the Quap of Pain is going to be mid, and I love Queen of Pain. We don't see it too much anymore for whatever reason, and honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I think heroes, there's just, right now, there's a funk of heroes that people are comfortable with, and they want to keep playing those because that's what other people are doing. But I think Queen of Pain is, one, a very, very strong laner, like just dominates most 1v1 matchups. And Rubik graphic bugs, okay. But yeah, just dominates most 1v1 lineups. Or 1v1 matchups, I should say. And I think the problem is she starts to fall off if you don't snowball hard, or at least that's the thought of many people. But I don't think she necessarily does. I think she can come back even if she has kind of a rough mid-game. And it's also, of course, Dendi playing him with some pooled regen. So this should be fun to watch.
I think a big part of it is she's just so shut down by so many things, and I mean she is pretty strong in lane depending on what the matchup's going to be. Shadow Strike's you know, a great spell for harass, and you know, up against a hero like Naga Siren, she can be very effective, and I think that's one reason why they decided to go with her as opposed to what could be potentially another high value mid pick, and this is exactly why. Arteezy just going to have a hard time coming forward, at least in the near moment. But down at bottom we can see the Chilling Touch already brought out. Universe is going to be telekinesed. The Jakiro is back, but just look at the damage output. And this feels kind of chancy to me from EG. They can always just abandon this and decide to go straight up the Darkseer against this tri-lane, but that's going to be tough for them to find a home in other lanes and be effective if that's going to end up being the case. So they've just got to be very, very careful, not get telekinesed out of position, and especially not get punished by Chilling Touch even at this early level. Yeah,
this Chilling Touch plus Howl is pretty deadly if you get if you get auto attacks on. The one thing I fear is that they're going to be, and this is what EG does very well, is when they aggro tri-lane, and they seem to be aggro tri-laning a lot, is they really make sure and they're very adamant about constantly pushing the lane. And the reason for that is if you're pushing the lane, it makes the supports useless on the defensive side because they can't pull. If they pull, then that creates room and space for the aggressive tri-lane to dive the one position hero, in this case a Vost. So they can't pull. Not only that, even if they try to pull, the other supports can come and, you know, screw with them and whatnot. So, and I think that's why EG likes Darkseer so much, because obviously his innate ability to push the lane with his Ion Shell makes it easy. Oh, disruption here offensively.
There's the follow-up Ice Path, and some damage being done. Universe will be telekinesed backwards, though, and Puppy makes it away with just a little under half health. So the aggressive potential on both sides really showing itself, and I keep flashing the camera to mid just because this is one of those mid matchups where a kill can happen at any point given how these heroes work, and Arteezy's actually going to chase Dendi back a little bit. We can see the early CS is going in the favor of Dendi, at least for the moment, with Arteezy sitting at just about a third of what he's been able to tally so far. So it is going to be a very rough matchup for him, but the other nice benefit of running an O-Tri like this, another disruption, Ice Path on the money. Havos going to take a bit of damage, but we'll be able to make it away safely. But the other nice thing is, like you said, not only do you keep them from pulling because they don't want to create space, they certainly don't have time to go try to attack mid. So even though Dendi's doing well there, it's still a little bit of extra space that the Naga Siren's going to have to at least stand, get levels, and do what you can to use Riptide the last hit if necessary.
Yeah, I would say that would be very effective, and it is a good point. But Dendi's just destroying mid right now, and I don't think he's going to need the help. And that's not to say that it's necessarily Arteezy's fault. Although I wasn't 100% watching mid, and it's important. You can't you know, pass judgment early on when you haven't completely watched the lane. So, but nonetheless, it's Quap versus Naga. Like, it's Quap versus a melee, and she just destroys pretty much any melee hero because that Shadow Strike is so effective when early on, when she spams it early on. So, yep, the only matchup I haven't really looked at is this Tide versus Timbersaw, and I expect Timbersaw to be doing quite well because he's up against a strength hero and it's melee. Well, I guess there's only one strength hero that's not melee, but yeah, he's actually doing quite well, Mason.
Yep, as you said, really a matchup that should be won by a Timber, and that's pretty much what's happening. I mean, Funnick is keeping himself safe, and he's not walking away completely hungry. He's sitting at 15 CS, which is number 3 on the board, still just about a third behind Mason as well. So, another disruption. They're going to try to follow it up. They actually managed to get off the Soul Catcher there as well. Puppey, Universe going to be first blood. Oh, no! Universe actually got it by a hair. So a small trade, but a small advantage to EG. Thought for sure Universe had overextended, but could not have been more than a couple of milliseconds that allowed them to get that kill. And we can actually see, as you mentioned, PPD is maxing Liquid Fire. 2 points into it, 1 in the Ice Path.
Yeah, very, very close. So Vos needs to be careful. He needs a potion here from Puppey, and he's just waiting for the extra dot damage. And in the meantime, Kuroki could be in trouble while they're trying to give him that potion.
Oh, and there's a weird graphical glitch. Universe. Oh, he actually got blocked by the creeps. He's going to be able to get back there. Kuro will end up dropping as PPD got the shot off from behind. Universe will end up being a return kill. No! Lost him in the vision in the Ice Path. Bought him enough time.
Oh, he's still dead.
Oh, they still got him with the tower. Thought he was going to, he might have had a chance to get away. But big dives happening already, but EG's making it work for them. And, you know, they've lost Universe a couple of times, though. And that's the problem, is before it kind of made sense. You know, you saw what happened. It's like, well, it's an even trade. First blood, you'll take that small advantage. That time, they trade Universe in exchange for a Ancient Apparition. Not sure that was wise. Mason's applying some very good damage to Funnick, and he's going to dive it. All the way back behind the tier 1 at top. Has Whirling Death up.
Oh, Jukes!
And, yep, now he has to make his way back via the Timber Chains. So, already, action-packed, 2-2, and we've got a rotation from EG. They're moving Zai and PPD towards mid. Dendi has maxed his Scream, only 1 point into his Blink. And let's see if they're going to lead with an Ensnare. It's going to be, yep, here we go. Disruption Ensnare's going to be there to follow up. They got to get off quickly. There's the Ice Path. Beautifully executed. What? Could not have done it better. Kuro's there, and Dendi, oh no, he did manage to blink away. Ends up dying nonetheless to Jakiro's dot damage. And EG is, like you said, they've been practicing the Jakiro, and I think it shows.
Yeah, Arteezy didn't Riptide there. That was very interesting. I'm not
solo death at bottom. As Universe was chasing him around the tower with the ion shell. So mass chaos everywhere right now.
That could have been really bad in mid, but yeah, good kill onto Puppey right there. As even though yeah, you were mentioning that they got that first blood just by a hair. I actually thought it was in favor of Navi because Universe died and Lycan got the last hit on him the first time. So it was actually going quite well for Navi down there. But good rotations out of EG. I thought that Navi would have been able to sniff that out because they weren't bottom, and then there's pretty much. I mean, I guess they could go top, but that's very far away for them to smoke gank to, and they would also have to use 2 different TPs. So, yeah, good movement here by EG early on.
And we can see this bottom lane's broken down a little bit. Kuro, the only one in lane right now. Puppey's doing a little bit of pulling. I'm actually surprised. I didn't notice until after the fight had taken place that Arteezy hasn't placed a single point into Ensnare. And I can
Yeah, he usually does this.
Yep. I would have thought that leading up to a gank attempt, and it was brilliant the way they did it, disrupting into the Ice Path to guarantee no blink time, and Ensnare would have simply guaranteed the kill. They got it anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. There's a Chilling Touch as the fight breaks out at bottom again, trying to chase down Zai. And PPD's the one behind things. And now we're going to have Universe eating the guts from Funnick, who joined in the fray. And he ends up being a return kill. So EG's aggression. I mean, they're leading 4-3, but when you look at the gold, yeah, that's kind of what I would have expected. Navi has a slight lead despite EG having the kill advantage and having the first blood advantage. So the efficiency and the way things are just working out is much in Navi's favor here in the early minutes.
I think Funnick is really farmed right now, like probably way more farmed than he should be. Right. Obviously, it's nice to use your anchor smash to get last hits, and that's probably what happened. But I thought I thought Timbersaw would have been able to just shut him down. I'm not too familiar with this matchup. Obviously, we don't see it that often. But it's whenever Timbersaw is up against a melee hero and it's a strength hero, it's usually a very, very good matchup for them because they just can't. It just does the Whirling Death just does so much damage, and then.
Oh, Sonic Wave! Dendi spin his blink. It's gonna be 10 seconds, so he ends up giving it away just as quickly. He got caught out in mid, and then Sonic Wave to bring down Universe, but the rotation was there. His blink was actually a little short range, and they managed to track him down. 4-5. EG trades Universe for Queen of Pain. Now, this is not a position you're used to seeing Universe in, that many deaths. He's got 2 kills, and that's great, but he's died 4 times already.
He's actually got every single death on EG. Yeah, no, that's very... It's kind of uncharacteristic as far as the stats go, but I don't think he's playing badly. It's just... That's just how they have to run things right now. But the problem right now for EG is that this lineup is very centered around creating space for Arteezy. Because he's like... Oh, here we have a wraparound from Zai up top, actually.
Disruption on the puppy. Soul Catcher on the mark. Chakram. No. Actually, oh, great stun as he telekinesed him right on top of Zai. They will end up being able to bring him down, but it wasn't for free. They end up trading support for support. That was just a great stun by Kuro. Telekinesing to disjoint things a little bit. Dendi now moving into the jungle, looking for something or someone. Universe is hanging out in mid, at least for the moment. And yeah, it looks like he was looking for someone to jump. His ultimate's going to be on cooldown for another 60 seconds, but at bottom, PPD is quite far forward. We're going to have Vods trying to wrap around, but Zai's there as well. PPD is going to be able to pull back, has the wolves on his tail, but no blood on the soil, at least for the moment. So 10 minutes in, taking a look at the early game, it's very, very close to even. Still slight advantage going the way of Na'Vi, despite trailing in kills and losing the first blood. But they do manage to bring down the tier 1 bottom. Actually didn't bring it down, it was denied.
Yeah, Arteezy trying to get what farm he can in the jungle because he just can't lane against Quap anymore. But this is the one thing I fear. He has 2k gold, which is not bad, but this is not his typical timing for Naga. He's only got 27, now 28 CS under his belt. And like I was saying, this lineup for EG, it's very centered around like lots of burst damage and lots of space here for Naga because they have really no traditional core other than Naga in this case. So if Naga's getting shut down, then obviously Navi's doing a good start for themselves. And they also have the Lycan who's got some good levels and actually pretty good farm despite the aggressive tri-lane. He's got Vlads and Medallion right now.
He's looking quite nice and already has another 700 gold aside if he wants to get up a pair of boots right away. Take a look at PPD. He's been very, very active. 2-0-1 for him, so hasn't given up a death, but has been a part of a couple of kills. Naga managing to keep herself alive. It's a nice step. Sai is actually 2-1 as well. Now Dendi going to be caught by the song. See if they can time it right. Ice Path on the mark. Sai's right there. And, oh, managed to blink away nonetheless. Here comes Funnick. Funnick, of course, does have his Ravage up. And Sonic Wave to the low ground. Hits PPD. Ravage gets 2 under the tower. Disruption might be enough to get PPD to safety. It's a Chakra. And nope, they managed to track him down, and another disruption now.
Disruptive defensive. That was stolen by Kuroki, and he was trying to save Dendi right there. Amazing team fight, and you're just seeing the power of this team fight with this Tide. Like this ulti here from Tide is so strong, and when he has a good start like he did, which is surprising considering his lane setup, I think Funnick is really going to start to own as we approach the mid game here, as he just did right there. So nice fight from Na'Vi, good ulti there from Dendi. Good perseverance in that fight, just lasting as long as he could to get as many nukes off as he could.
Puppy gonna spot Mason, or vice versa, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, great play by Kuro, like you said. Snagging the disruption and trying to keep him safe, trying to keep the Queen of Pain safe. Dendi in pretty good shape.
Radiant's top tower.
He's gonna have his wand up. He's gonna have 1,600 gold aside. What do you think for this game? BKB or something more like an Orchid or a Scythe?
Oh, for Dendi?
Yep. Or something even defensive. I mean, you can go BKB, you can go Lincoln's. He could go something like a straight Orchid.
He could go Necro as well. Like,
yeah,
Lycan's probably going to go Necro 3, and just Necro's not bad when you also have AoE on the other team because like Timbersaw is just going to blow himself up. Now that's not the most traditional build, but I think it would be fun and actually really suitable for this match. More traditional would be like Orchids. Orchids are probably like the most standard and most safe thing to do. Orchids BKB, but we'll see.
EG beginning to stick together a little bit. They have given up the kill lead for the first time. Na'Vi has opened up the first sizable lead of the entire game, sitting at 1,500 gold in their favor and arcing even further upwards with the experience, but you know, this is got to be a little bit worrisome. Like you said, they did manage to slow the Naga down a little bit. She is getting closer to her relic. She should have it up in just about 700 gold, but still a decent amount of time that EG is going to have to defend, because right now, without a doubt, it is Navi's game to take under control. 30 seconds till Ravage is up. There's an AA ultimate that will catch two. That got Zai and PPD. Mason tried to get away as well. Missed with the Timber Chain. He's going to die pretty much for sure. Funnic's going to stay right on him. And yep, there's the blink ahead. And right now, Na'Vi weather the storm, and they are just punishing EG at every turn. There's a well-shot ultimate out of Puppey as well. And now Havos is even going to be getting involved a little bit more as he's beginning to push.
Yeah, and he's close to his Necro 1 as well. And these Ice Blasts have been quite nice. We saw that one wraparound gank from Zai earlier on. And as you mentioned, the nice disjoint from Kuroki with the telekinesis. And it was like a very, very quick reaction, just turning immediately onto Zai with a nice Ice Blast from Puppey. So I've seen a number of good plays from Puppey this game, despite him getting some aggression on him. So well played for him. Havos coming into the enemy, or well, not enemy, but the Roshan here, right in front of 3 players from EG. They know it, though. And they're just waiting until they get more players here to kill him. Yeah, he might be in some trouble.
You think? Ice Path will be thrown. Yep, and Havos in some trouble. Ice Path Chakram right there. He hits him with the Demonic Purge. Good vacuum from Universe, and that's going to secure it. A Ultimate's going to connect, though. RTZ looking to come in. Rest of Na'Vi, though, is way too far away, and they do have their tier 1 up if they wanted the TPM, but yeah, that A ultimate is just such a strong deterrent against Roshans, even in a situation where you get that good of a pick. Just so hard to go in when you've already been smacked with the 5-man Ice Blast. There's going to be a disruption on the Queen of Pain in mid. Ice Path will catch her, but no follow-up. Kuro hits him with the Fable from the high ground, and Mason just goes in. Sonic Wave from the high ground. Enough to burst him down below half health, but not to bring him down entirely. However,
here comes Phonic!
Phonic hits a big Ravage, got 3. As we saw Mason drop below, Ice Path trying to secure the retreat. Great shot from Puppey and helped out by Dendi. Na'Vi is just flat out running over EG at this point. They can't do anything. They got that pick on Havost, and it ended up just being a bigger disaster, and it looks like Na'Vi is ready to take this Roche anyway.
Yeah, and they'll do it super fast with Chilling Touch and Medallion and Lycan Wolves. And I'm just really impressed with Na'Vi. They're playing really well this game.
They are.
And again, I keep pointing back to, like, this is already bad for EG. Imagine in 10 minutes when you get more levels than everybody and Phonic has a blink. It looks like Phonic's going for maybe mech right now. But when Phonic gets a blink, oh my god, like, these Ravages are already so troublesome for EG. It's going to be even more difficult when he gets the proper positioning that he needs.
It's going to be a BKB build up on the Queen of Pain, so Dendi just wanting to stay straight defensive. Has it done? This is a bunch of big items done. Mech and BKB done at exactly the same time, and it looks like Na'Vi is willing to pull back for the moment. We're going to see double smoke, so wasting of 1 there by EG, and maybe the sense of urgency beginning to kick in just a little bit. They're going to go and smoke right on in to Na'Vi's jungle, but nobody's going to be home. Everyone from Na'Vi is looking to take the tier 1 at top, so EG can collapse on this bottom tier 2 if they want. That's probably the decision they'll end up making by the time they notice that Na'Vi has more than a couple up top. Yep, and here we go. Just moving right into lane.
Yeah, the only problem is they don't have too much push aside from the liquid fire from PPD. That's about it. Actually, never mind. It pushes quite nicely. We'll see if Na'Vi can get here in time. The AA Blast is coming down, and yeah, here's TP from Quap. They want to fight this. Dendi's getting ready to set up.
And the corner of the that's going to get everyone. They got everyone but Zai, and now they're going to come back in. Dendi's there. PPD brought down. Pops the BKB. Here comes Phonic. Ravage not available. And Mason trying to use the Timber Chain to get away. Should be able to make it into the river at least. And yep, Dendi probably not going to pursue much further. Nope, hell with it. He's going to chase him all the way into the secret shop area. Sonic Wave's going to be up, and Mason's going to end up dead as soon as Blink's up again. There it is. Sonic Wave going to catch Universe as well. Universe just a smidge. Oh, beautiful shot from the Ice Path, stolen by Kuro. Follow up the gush from Phonic, and they find another one. And that was just Universe trying to be a pal and get his mech off to help his buddy. Ends up being caught in the line of fire and is the next casualty on the list. And all this time, by the way, Havost is just killing buildings, man. All the way down to the tier 2 top. It's gone. This game has completely come off the rails, and Na'Vi is in absolute control.
Yeah, I don't know if this Naga Radiance is even going to bounce CG back in this game. And one of the things too is we never see Jakiro anymore, so you forget to think about this. But Ice Path is one of the best spells in the game to steal for Rubik.
No doubt.
And he has it now because it's he doesn't have it. It actually faded away, unfortunately. That sucks. Hopefully he can get it again for himself. But it's instant cast and it's super long range. That's one of the tiny problems, if any, for the Ice Path on Jakiro is that it has a little bit of a wind up from the hero. But obviously with Rubik, if he steals it, it's instant cast, and we saw right there just how effective it can be.
The ultimate in the mid. Gonna catch a couple once again. And taking a look at Puppy. Not unless he's got a scepter sitting on the courier, which I doubt he does. He doesn't. He's pretty slow in his item development, but he has been just flat out busted fools with that ice blast pretty much all game. But yeah, like talking about the Jakiro and the Ice Path, as you said, it's an ability that's balanced by the fact that it has a wind up, and it's telegraphed very clearly to the enemy. So then you take Rubik, and when Rubik steals it, basically the one thing that keeps that ability balanced and feeling like it's even fair is taken away. And when you I love playing Rubik, as you know, just in general play, and I am always so happy to be against a Jakiro because it really is one of the strongest abilities of the hero. Not just being able to steal spells, but being able to steal those spells that are usually balanced around a cast point or a wind up, and just punish the enemy for it. So 15-7, and honestly, EG's probably gonna just do what they can, which is turtle out and hope that, like you said, Arteezy is able to get them back on their feet. With that radius, but I'm like you. I wonder if it's enough at this point. I mean, we're gonna have fun. Oh, they almost got PPD.
He could shatter. He might shatter. Oh my God, it was so close.
And Zai's able to make it away as well. But if you're in EG's shoes, what do you think the game plan is, my friend?
It's Turtle, man. Turtle as much as you can for Naga, and have her try to create as much space as you can. He's got the top CS. Obviously, he's nowhere near the farm of. Let me pull up the net worth here. Yeah, he's nowhere near the farm of both Quap and Lycan, but you just have to hopefully get on the back of Arteezy and you have to wait it out. It would be a long haul. It would be a very, very long game if EG could come back from this. But against the Lycan and against, I don't know, I just think Navi's heroes are so good if they get farm. And yeah. I don't know. It's going to be very, very difficult. But if anything, yeah, it's going to have to be turtle up as much as possible. Try to get Naga just two more items or something, and then maybe try to take a fight.
Speaking of, hang on, a ultimate. We'll catch Universe, not Mason though. But yeah, speaking of Tidehunter and the start that he had, he's actually almost as farmed as Arteezy is at this point. He's sitting on a mech, blink dagger, wand with 14 charges, and arc boots. So I mean, he is gigantic for this stage of the game, especially given he was in a solo lane that one would ostensibly assume he shouldn't have done as well in. But it's been all the fighting since then, really, that's been the difference maker. And we can see Navi just now beginning to collapse down onto EG. And EG's pretty much just going to have to sack this tier 2. I don't know how they can defend it. Like the initiation out of Navi is just way too strong right now.
Yeah, and the bad thing too is Arteezy's so underfarmed, like compared to what he needs to be at this point, that he can't fight at all. It's similar to like an anti-mage at this point, where he has just like no team fighting capabilities whatsoever. Like you would think on paper he does, or Naga does, because she has Radiance, she has Illusion, she has Sleep and Riptide and all that jazz. But there's so much AOE from Navi, she only has less than 1,000 life. She's not gonna live in a fight. And she's trying to fight it right now because their base is getting pressured, but I don't know. This could be bad.
All right, the
Aegis just expired.
Was reclaimed. Yep, just expired. And Arteezy thought about coming out there. That was a little bit of bad timing on Havos. Now here comes Dendi. Dendi gonna hit a Sonic Wave. Only got one. That was Mason. Screen gets a few more. Zai could be in trouble. There's gonna be a demonic purge onto Dendi as he has to retreat. And Funnick still hanging on to his Ravage. Gonna use the mech to get them back in fighting shape. And it looks like they may want to fall back. Puppy, use the Ice Blast. It's still 25 seconds on cooldown. And yeah, they're going to fall back. That's the right call to make, I think. That was a little bit weird. They mistimed the Aegis. They were trying to basically just let Havos get up front, eat the damage, then respawn, then probably engage off of that. But there was no resurrection. You know, something that we haven't really talked about that is also extremely valuable.
Courier Snipe. Oh. Courier Snipe, Dendi gets it. Yes.
Got it. And I'm not sure what was on that, but it looks like it was on the way to Arteezy, so probably his boots.
Yeah, bots. Yeah. Oh no, that's unfortunate. He turns off his Radiance, goes to hide in the trees because he knows he's got a tail, and that's Funnick. He's looking for him. And I'm sure Funnick's not scared to voice that Ravage if he finds Arteezy in a good spot, but nope, can't find him. So nicely played there by Arteezy, turning off that Radiance, but he's in a little bit of a pickle now with no TP out. But yeah, that was really unfortunate, as I think that Na'Vi just needed to write down that Aegis timer so they knew exactly when it expired. Because it looked like they were just caught off guard with that, and yeah, Havos unfortunately died there.
Yep. That's one of those situations where it's really easy to use that kind of as an initiation moment, where you let him face tank, and then as soon as he dies, as soon as you hear the Aegis coming back up, everyone pops their BKBs and comes up straight with them. And I think that's what the plan was there. But at any rate, one thing that we really have neglected to talk much about, and hold that thought, is Havost and company are going to be collapsing on the Universe. Funnick's right there with him. Universe has a TP, and Ravage going to be used. Because why not? Here's an AA ultimate to help secure the kill, and Funnick gets the kill there. And bringing down Universe at any stage of the game, just based on the items he's built. I mean, he's going for a pipe now, and he has a mech. That's worth spending a Ravage on, just to take the mech and the pipe off the map. That just frees you up more time to farm and more space.
Yeah, I think it's fine too, because if you're Na'Vi, you're understanding that EG's trying to do everything they can to split push and rat this one out. So using your cooldowns for any kill you can, I think it's just the right decision here. Tier 1 tower is getting beaten on here. It should be an easy tower kill here for Na'Vi.
A little bit of spam, helping to keep him back as the Chakram is forcing him out. A ultimate back up, and Zai not going to be caught by it. It was very, very close. They're going to end up catching... No, PPD barely got away. Barely got away. At bottom, looks like Dendi bringing down... I didn't even see where he found him.
Got it in mid.
Yeah. BKB deployed, had a double damage rune, and found that kill on Arteezy there in mid, so don't know there's a much more high-value target to kill than Arteezy. Well done.
Yeah, and they have a ward spotting out inside of the base as well. I don't know if that helped out with it at all, but yeah, Dendi just doing work here. Looks like it's going to be a Scythe probably. Seems like the most aggressive and most appropriate item choice for him. And yeah, what a play by PPD. That was so freaking close. Croaky, he did manage to get the Ice Path though, so at least a little nice good thing for him, as he was unfortunately not able to get that kill on PPD. And PPD got the tower as well, so good play by him.
Roche going to be coming back up in just about 3-4 seconds. Not even that, 2 seconds, as he respawns. And if I'm not mistaken, Puppy actually didn't get eyes on that. He had the Ice Vortex down, but I'm pretty sure it expired just as Roche spawned, so I don't think they're aware that it's up, or they'd be doing it right now. Scythe device is going to be done on Dendi, and time of Host getting very close to his BKB, and by very close I mean less than 200 gold, and that's probably going to end up being the word go. As soon as you see the BKB down on Havost, and now with the Scythe device done on Dendi, it's just hard to imagine how they're going to be able to weather this. I mean, hell, even Funnick, looks like he's wanting to get his Shivas up, and he's made some pretty decent progress at that.
Yeah, this is going to be... that's such a fast cheap stick as well. They need to get this damn tier 1 tower bottom dead. It's been alive for way too long for Navi's liking. Looks like they're finally going to take it out. Arteezy up top, he finally got his boot to travel back with the courier respawning, so he'll be happy about that. They'll have a Yasha up here in a second, but again, he's still suffering from lack of HP. He's got less than 1,000. And against the mass AoE from Na'Vi, like one Ravage and he's dead. Like, because the Quap's ulti is going to go right through it too, so... Ice Blast setting up top. Might do a little bit of damage to deter Arteezy from pushing any further.
Yep, ate it right on the chin, and we'll go ahead and pull back as he needs to. Na'Vi in the meantime still sticking at bottom. Havosis rotating to mid. May end up getting a kill on the Universe here if they can catch him. Nope. Unable to grab him, or to get the cold feet to proc, so Havos will go ahead and deny the tower while the rest of the team pushes down at bottom. And Funnick again with his blink and Ravage. Dendi with his mobility, like, I don't know. It's very, very difficult to see what EG can do, except, it's you're in a situation where you're basically hoping the enemy team makes a ton of mistakes. That's kind of your only chance to get back in the game.
PPD's sitting here just hanging out in the jungle. he placed an offensive ward here, and then now he's just waiting on the right time to TP out, I guess. But yeah, I haven't even looked at the graphs, and I'm sure it's really bad against EG. But again, they're sitting on the back of Arteezy, just trying to wait for give them as much time as possible. So every minute that goes by is a small victory for EG in the sense that they haven't lost their base yet. Yeah. So.
Both just discovered that Roche is up. And yeah, they're actually just kind of trying to maneuver EG to death. They're slowly, you know, you talk about EG wanting to rat. Right now, honestly, the rat play is mostly on the side of Na'Vi. And Dendi's going to try to pursue this out. They caught the Ice Blast on Arteezy. He might be able to get him. Will he see him? Nope. Ooh, if he had Sonic waved right around the trees, and Zai's actually going to be able to make it away as well, as he wasn't spotted. But we were watching that. Funnick and Avos with their minus armor walked into the Roach Pit. There's going to be a Chakram down, not going to change anything as Avos does get the... And Mason's in trouble now, and uses the Timber Chain to get to the high ground. Not going to matter. Avos popped the BKB to keep things safe. Pipe's done on Universe, but yet another kill.
Oh, another courier snipe.
Dendi trying to engage this Kuro right with them. Let's see what Kuro's going to be able to get. There's a wall that goes down, and they're going to try to fight this out. Universe trying to TP away. Caught with the Sonic Wave amid the telekinesis. Another kill against the EG. And Na'Vi now more than doubling them. And Zai actually got hit with the AA ultimate. Not sure if he had thought he was shooting at someone else back in the well, but just shooting it up. But the whole time, once again, Abosh is doing what a Lycan does, pushing your towers down.
Kuroki has wall, by the way. So if he's able to get like Arteezy out of it, get that illusion with the Radiance, it's going to be very good for them. So nice steal from Kuroki. Avos, he's going to be dead, but he has the Aegis here, so well, I'm not quite sure what was going on down there. Didn't need to waste the Aegis, unfortunately, but if anything, it makes them waste their time, I guess. So unfortunate there for Na'Vi. Arteezy in the meantime split pushing top. Here comes TP reaction from Dendi, and he does have Sheep up, but Arteezy sniffs it out.
Is under attack.
Yep, Arteezy basically not making the mistake Havos made. Havos just hung around way too long, way too much black space around him, and they ended up collapsing on him. But in the end, they're going to end up getting this tower for the last time anyway. And Na'Vi just continuing to build on this immense lead. 15,000 gold, 500 gold per minute generated across half an hour for them in terms of lead. And yeah, it's like they can basically just starve EG out. I mean, Arteezy, like you said, has very little combat prowess, though it is going up. I mean, he's going to have a Manta style done soon, if that's what he wants to go with. Actually, it's going to be a Maelstrom build out of Dendi following the Scythe of Ice. I really dig that. I mean, at this stage, you know, again, the BKBs late coming if they're ever going to come at all. And yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about during the draft too. Is when you look at EG's lineup, they just really lack any heroes that naturally want to build a BKB early in most circumstances, and that's going to punish them between Queen of Pain, of course, and most notably, though, Funnick. They don't really have an answer to that.
Yeah, I agree. It's the lack of BKB heroes for EG does kind of make it difficult. Not to mention when you have so much spam and so much magic nuke AoE damage from Na'Vi. So yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Na'Vi slowly beginning to move into the jungle now. Gonna look for a pick. Honestly, I think they could just about group as 5 and go win. Assault Cuirass is done for Havost, and that might be what they're waiting on right now. And another AA ultimate. Shot out right at the tower. And there's gonna be a Ravage to follow it. Well timed. And Havost chasing down Zai. Mason immediately hexed out. Let's see if they have the burst. He's been caught with the medallion. Mech's there from Universe. Nice vacuum into the wall. That's gonna make them at least reset.
Top tower is under attack.
But EG still losing PPD and forced to reset themselves. That was actually a fairly nice defense given the way that went. The Ravage and the Ancient Apparition combination, as exciting as it is, was nonetheless not as effective as I think they would have liked. It was just a good reaction, good spread from EG, and now they're probably going to have to wait out the cooldowns.
Yeah, I'm sure EG would be fine with that. They used pretty much everything on PPD, and when they tried to transfer to Mason, he was actually quite tanky and had the mech on top of him as well. I don't think the AA ulti actually hit Mason, and if it did, I think they might have gotten the kill there because he got healed up and whatnot, so it would have been close, but yeah, I'm sure EG will be fine with that. They also have Song ready. Not the best spells to combo up the Song with the wall being down, but it is a tool that they have to use.
PPD, respawn, ready to defend, and Na'Vi banging on the gates. Down at, over at top, by the way. We do see Arteezy was pushing, and now he's going to be able to use sleep to get away. Dendi going to just clean the creeps up, and yeah, that's enough to pull Na'Vi back, and EG's playing this pretty well, I got to admit. Honestly, I felt like they're going, still feel like they're going to get run over eventually. But for the moment, they're extending the game and just buying that time you were talking about. Just giving time for Arteezy to get more relevant.
Yep, and if there is a hero that can do it and a player that can do it, it's Arteezy on Naga. So at least it's not on a hero like, say, like Puck or something, because he would have no comeback capabilities. And this is why they draft him heroes like that. But that being said, they are in a huge hole. Arteezy, he's caught out right here. He's going to get the kill on Puppy, but he might get a counter kill on top of him. He has no sleep for 70 seconds. But he's pretty fast.
Uses the Manta to buy some time. Mason right there to follow it up. There's going to be a BKB. He's going to run right through the ice path. Funix right there, and poor PPD going to be on the ugly side of that counter initiation. Kuro stealing the ice path once again, and he's going to have it for a... Yeah, he actually just stole it fresh. So he's going to have that for as long as he wants. And Funix not wasting any of his big CDs. Most notably, the Ravage. He actually did spin the mech there, but other than that, and they may end up pushing off of that. PPD is one of the most defensive heroes on the side of EG, and anytime he's down, it's going to be an opportunity. And Puppy can, of course, just toss his ulti from wherever, and he'll probably...
Arteezy up top.
Rat just there. Dendi is indeed godlike. And there's going to be the BKB. Zai disrupts himself. Not going to matter. Sonic Wave on the mark. Universe loses his pipe because of it. And in mid, we can see double buy. Forced out of Arteezy and Zai. Looked like they were ready to just bring down the tower. Or bring down the racks. But forced out once again. So very costly for EG, but they managed to maintain most of their buildings. We're coming up on 34 minutes flat. And yeah, Naga's actually continuing to split push with those bots. So the towers behind Na'Vi are slowly beginning to disappear as well.
Yeah, this could be a costly TP from Arteezy. He boots and traveled all the way bottom to get that last hit on the tower, but now he's going to walk all the way back to mid. And I don't know. This is definitely going to be lost racks. Perhaps he thought that the racks were dead anyway.
Yep.
But if that's the case, I don't know why he's walking back then. I guess they can push 2 racks. So yeah, this could be a costly TP. This is going to be double racks, and Arteezy's nowhere near.
So we actually see a scepter up on Rubik, and yep, Dendi right there cleans up Zai. There's going to be an ice path that catches no one. The rest of Na'Vi bringing down that second set of racks, and any chance they had, slim as it was, to make a comeback is just gone. There's no way you're going to be able to rat DOTA with 2 sets of racks down. Havos is caught with an ice path. Mason, though, eating a lot of damage. And, yep, there's going to be a gush onto him. Another ice path will catch Havos. Puppy's there, has Ice Blast up in about 5 seconds now. But, yeah, I mean, the damage is done. Regardless of, Na'Vi can teleport straight back to the fountain if they want. And it's not going to matter. I really don't know what EG can do with 2 sets of racks down.
Yeah, I mean, Arteezy's thinking was that we're going to lose mid racks anyway. I'm just going to TP down there, and because I'm not going to do anything in the fight anyway. I'm just going to, if I was there, I'm just going to stand there and be useless. So we're going to lose it anyway. I'm going to go TP bottom, try to do some split pushing and farming. But I don't think he realized how powerful the pushing was of Na'Vi, that they were able to take two sets of racks there. Because I think his intention was to give up 1, but then they immediately went top, and it died, you know, in the blink of an eye. So 1 set of racks, manageable. 2 sets of racks, you're on the verge of just getting ready to GG out.
They unite the Roche pit. Wow, it's going to be a very short Roshan. 45 seconds, all the time it's going to take. And Puppy on his way to a scepter finally. And it's actually going to, yeah, he went Shiva Jules on Funix. I saw that he had the Void Stone and wondered what he was going to put that towards. I honestly thought...
holy crap, he's farmed.
Yeah, just a bit. He's not that much under farmed compared to Naga. He's sitting at 14-4 and Naga Siren's at 16-8. So, I mean, he's right in that same range. Havost has picked up a Reaver, and we'll see what he wants to do with that. Already has the Book 3 and the AC up. Here comes another Ice Blast. And Arteezy gonna be scythed and caught with it. There's gonna be a defensive disruption. Dendi pops, oh, beautiful. Sonic Wave plus the Ravage to bring him down, and yeah, the rest of EG just going to melt. Yep. They have no chance. Good vacuum wall, but it's too little too late from Universe as Kuro managed to steal it as well. And GG's come out, and just a complete dominant performance out of Na'Vi. EG came out in the laning phase and looked like they were going to be able to at least create some chaos and free some things up for Arteezy. But Na'Vi just had the answer. Their draft really is what